Say the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Record show everybody's present. Hey, first session is Jamie Barron's Deputy Auditor's Office, Kelly Fisher, Payroll and Benefits Specialist, Auditor's Office, and Jasmine Elmore,
Yes.
Human Resources, discussion under decision to review fiscal year step and grade. Here we go.
So I asked Jeanette to put in your guys' packet, the last couple of years of step and grades. So when we were provided this year's step and grade pay scales, there were some discrepancies that we found. Specifically the step 11 to step 12, and just to discuss, getting board approval to adjust some of those pay scales that the clerks were moving into, because it had been previously agreed by you guys not to adjust those. However, there were prior employees already in them. So we just need approval to make those changes for the 3% increase as well. When we went back and we were doing the research, it looked like last year was the first year that there was a significant change between step 11 and 12. Instead of getting that original 3% raise, it looked like the 11 to 12 got upwards of a 5% raise. So it's compounded this year, and people from 11 to 12 are looking at an 8% raise. So we just need to know what direction to take on that 11 to 12 step.
Well, we can't afford that much.
I will say to add, just as over the last few days, running kind of my own research, because we use the prior scales that were already out there. What I was actually able to find is that in some ways we were comparing apples to oranges. So when you get to step 12, the 3% that you're seeing the huge increase from 11 to 12, the step 12 is actually with a 3%, but we're not truly accounting for step 11. So what we could do is change, because the people who are already sitting in step 12 are the people who are getting the 3% increase. So when we're increasing the scale, and you guys have told us to increase, like the top step gets 3%. That is what's making the compounding 3% every single time. So essentially step 12 is kind of the phantom step, but we're not accounting for the change. Essentially going from step 11 to step 12 is accounting the 2.5 or whatever the increase was, plus what you guys have given us on top of the 3. So it should be 2.5 from 11 to 12. And then the people who are on step 12, essentially, I don't know if our system would allow for that, but they technically shouldn't have a 12. They should be off of the scale. And then we give them the 3% as we would do with like department heads. They would get whatever the increase that you all have decided, which this year was 3%, they would get the 3%.
That's how we've always done it since I've been on this board. When somebody reaches their last step.
Right.
With all the steps having an equal, well, for most of them, 2.5% between the steps, they went off the step and grade and into what they've been calling it that since I've been on this board, a bucket.
Okay.
You come off of that and be a bucket. There should not be a 8, 10, 12% difference between step 11 and step 12.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who calculated that last year, but it wasn't correct last year and it's getting worse this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we need to go back in and say between the step 11 and however, whatever bracket we're talking about.
Yeah.
You do some numbers.
and do the 2% in between 11 and 12.
Exactly.
2.5.
Sorry,
Two-
two and a
yes,
half.
2.5.
Yeah, had Angie go through and do that and then just kind of removed those people that were in that step 12, just
Mhm.
kind of out of it. And everything seems to be, should line up correctly,
Perfect.
Yes,
that everybody gets that 3%
that's the fix.
increase.
Yeah.
That's exactly the fix.
What, it doesn't really matter, but where did those huge jumps come from, that step and grade? Who put that together?
Jasmine worked on that, but it was based off of what was done from last year. So we did exactly what they did last year.
The last year was wrong.
Mhm, yeah, and so we went back and looked at this year. Last year, we could see where the 5% between those two steps, but then the year before that and before that, it was exactly how the board had it. So however happened last year, it then just continued into this year. So putting those pay scales together, they weren't accurate because of however it conspired from last year.
So do we need to go back in there and manually put the 3% in?
So, it'll get finagled between the 11 and 12 to make sure that they're getting the appropriate increase with the 2.5 between those two steps. And then that bottom step, we'll just kind of remove them from the pay schedule so that we can still keep them at 3% as well.
Right.
Okay. You've got the solution.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of work. Is there a lot of people in that?
Not a lot. I think we have like 8 people that are moving from 11 to 12. And I say 11 to 12, but it's the bottom 2 steps. We do have a couple different pay schedules that only have, 7 to 8. So we're looking at the bottom 2 steps that are causing that
Okay.
difference.
Is it all the different
Mhm.
departments?
Every grade.
Yep, every
Everybody.
grade.
Mhm.
And you can catch that before the next payroll.
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So for clarification, nobody's been paid for the last year at a higher rate than they should have been.
Yes.
So they haven't.
They have.
Yes.
And nobody came forward and said, hey, my numbers don't
Nobody-
match.
Nobody caught it last year.
Would you?
It's just,
Yeah, I would.
Well, and then the year before that was when we did dollar amount increases instead of percentages. So there
Makes sense.
So last year, they didn't have a baseline to work from
Mhm.
unless they went back 2 years ago.
We were trying to fix it there, remember?
Yeah,
And we did fix some things.
It ended up not being a dollar amount.
At the long run, wasn't it? It changed
It
it.
didn't work, so we didn't do it that way. I think we did a dollar amount at the first step and 2.5% after that. So that didn't work exactly. Everybody got a dollar amount.
So we're all in agreement what we need to do here.
so then we just need the approval to, originally you guys had said not to increase, grade 512 and 514. But there were already people in that grade, so we just need your guys' approval to go ahead and make those adjustments to those grades.
Okay.
And then we'll need to add 511 back to the pay schedule because there was someone in the 511 pay grade as well.
How many?
Just one.
If we can get that, that person, we can put them in a different grade. That's what we did
Do you,
with the
I
other.
can go grab the step and grade real quick between 11 and 12 and where they're at, if you guys want to compare
Okay.
where you want to put them.
Yeah,
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'll grab that.
we had all those.
That they're,
We worked on it.
we worked on it, and there was the one that was 511.
I don't remember that. Who was it? Do you remember?
It was somebody
I
in,
can see if I can find it.
They approved.
No, I don't think.
They only approved the percentage, so maybe not.
511 had 2 people. One of them was I believe a jail employee, it was a CMA, and then there was one in community services, I believe. So it was those 2 people. Yeah, I couldn't, yeah, I didn't find it, but that's just kind of what I remember.
So
And then
community services,
they have
that was
one,
passed on to the state.
and then we have, one of them is a full timer, one of them is a part.
Okay.
And then there's one in 512 that should be moved, but we can address that later if you want to. If you want to keep the scale at 512, there's one that does need to be moved. If you-
Well,
correcting.
I think in the essence of time,
Yeah, we can address that one later. That one is fine.
511, like Jamie suggested.
So I don't know.
And then we go back
And we
after,
change 512.
and we need to evaluate
Because they never.
to make sure we've got people in the right. Well, we will have them in the
Yeah.
right, but
They approved 3%.
So
You're
we leave
finding a
1%,
mistake
511.
and you're fixing
Well,
it.
we-
There's
I don't-
two people.
I don't know
ones.
that needs to be. part of
But we need to work
motion.
with their department heads to figure out where the job
No,
descriptions
there was
fit
not.
with their other
It was
job
a
descriptions
mistake that
and
was
align
found.
them
Okay, well,
correctly.
This is corrected action.
Should we do that
I don't
today?
think so, as long as you.
I don't think we have the,
One of
I mean, we
the
could,
department heads
We
is
could
not
monitor
back
that.
until after the holiday.
motion to direct payroll to take corrective
People
action,
from-
However,
Eleven last
it's
year
never come up
got
before
a 6%
in a
raise.
meeting
No.
or for
probably not.
discussion, so.
No, I think what happened when we did this, we eliminated everything below step or below grade 512. And there must have been two
The motion's
people in
pretty-
511 we didn't catch.
I know the
blank
people
right
last
now,
year
so
that
I
got
just motion by, second by to
pay
update the
raise. They
second
got a
grade
5% raise.
for the fiscal year 26-27
3.1.
for, and then I can put in there,
It was wrong.
step
3, was a 6%.
511, 512, and
Was that because we
514.
raised
I
the
just need
base
to
up?
know whether the corrective action.
I don't
for
remember what we
11
did
to
last
12 needs to be
I think it was a 3.25
I don't think so
last
either.
year. I think that was what it, if I remember correctly. I think you guys did that.
Right.
325.
Yeah. And then the top step got 3.25, and so what happened was you did, again, the 0.75 on the step one, and then it just
They
trickled down.
never.
And then once they got to step 12, they added on the 3.25, but that had already been accounted for.
So it
So
could say
that's where
corrective.
it kind of got
action
out of whack.
To ensure
They're
that
still
all
gonna be
employees,
2.5%
3%, blah, blah, blah,
higher
but,
than what they should have
but
been.
it's kind of redundant.
The other people who were already increased, yes, but now it'll even out. Now it'll, yeah, it'll be
Can't
fixed.
go back.
No, I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So essentially, they got a larger increase last year, those people.
Whenever you raise the salary by percentages, you're always going to get disproportionate,
Right,
correct?
you could.
Well, it happens.
Mhm.
And at one time, we were looking to just make it a dollar amount, but that's not an option either anymore. Is that what I understand?
It just wasn't this year, I think.
The only way to do that is to dump the step and grade.
I would be all for that.
Me too.
I would be all for that.
And so would our payroll team, I
It's
believe.
just in there that.
That's a union thing.
Because when I started, we were issuing two salary increases.
Right,
Longevity and.
that's where people are getting confused too, yeah.
But now that's not happening.
That's not the case, no.
I don't think so. I don't, so, all right, thank you.
No, you're only talking about person in 511, right?
Correct.
And I was, there's actually two that we did.
Yeah.
There is actually.
What step are they?
One of them is 51111 and one of them is 511-2.
2?
Is this,
Part-time.
Yeah, one of them's
this,
part-time.
this year's,
This is this year's.
okay, it says 26.
So this is the last
Fiscal year
fiscal
26,
year.
27? Is that what that is?
This isn't the updated one. He
No,
said
this
last
isn't the
fiscal year.
updated one because it's not 100%
This is
accurate.
last year's. Okay. You said 511 step,
One of them is step 11 and one of them is step 2.
2568. We move them to 512, right? I mean, we have 512, right?
Mhm.
We can move them right to 25, or step 10. All right, where's the other one at, Jamie?
Step 2.
Step 2? Jeez. Where's that person at?
511, step 2.
I know, but
What's the
what, yeah, what's,
The part-time
I
CNA.
think it's somewhere over public health.
was a part-time person?
I believe so.
What is she?
Yeah, The
She's,
step-
sorry, Angie said she's conservation.
Oh, conservation, sorry.
Oh, is she, okay.
And 511, step two?
Yep.
Boom to 512, step one, I would say.
I think so.
That's the logical thing to do.
Perfect.
I don't like the steps.
What else did we have? Is that it?
Um,
I thought you said there was somebody else.
Okay.
it was just, I thought there was just one. I forgot about the part-time person. So there's two people in the 511 that we're moving. Everybody else that is in 512 and 14, we just need to do the raise on those two steps because there were non-clerk unions in those two grades.
Okay, say that again.
So the board approved not to increase
Great.
512 and 514. But there were, because we were moving all of our clerks unions into those two categories,
Correct.
well, there were employees that were already in those two categories that were then not gonna get the raise because the steps didn't change.
And they were not part of the clerk's union.
And they were not.
All right, where were they at? You recall where they're at?
They were in 512 and 514.
I know, but 512 what?
I'd have to get.
There's
a
probably
lunch break, and I
several.
did not
There's
bring that in.
One of
There-
them got a top step.
There was probably
Yeah,
like
512.
4 or 5, I think, that were in those two, between the two of them.
Well, we need to address those two right now too.
Okay.
Be done with this.
So can you do that?
Pull them up.
Pull 'em up.
Hold on, she might,
Can't
we
we
might
give,
have them, Kelly.
can't we just give Kelly the authority to move them to the corresponding steps without looking at them individually? So that they're not losing money?
Let's just make the decision.
I think that's a great idea.
Because if no action
I'll
is
be
taken by you, then they won't, those 5 or 6 individuals will not get any raise.
Right, so we give Kelly the authority to move them to a corresponding step so that they do get a raise without doing this individually as a
Yeah.
board. Like we just did with 511.
That would work.
Well, it won't take very long to do it.
That-
If it's,
Go,
if it's,
go get it. Okay.
I'll be back. Give me a second.
We're doing it. Let's get it done.
I thought we had it all taken care of.
Well,
This stuff's gonna happen. 460 employees, you're gonna have a couple speed bumps.
515 was the class that we moved people into because we didn't have anybody in
Right,
that
there's
step.
nobody
So
in
there's no
515.
impact to 515.
really, the only reason we have steps is for when they start, correct?
I think it's yes, I think it's for when they start, but when they're moving through the steps, I think it was to give transparency and an idea, so that people weren't getting larger increases, you would have a better viewpoint. That's just what I'm thinking from what this may have been built from in the past. I think it was easier for you all probably to follow, or whoever the, preceding boards were, to figure out where the employees were and kind of what increases and what that looks like for the county as a whole. Yeah. There's not a
When we give
true
a
benefit
percentage
for
increase,
the step and grade system, especially in the non-union, there's not a benefit. Usually when you have a step and grade at different grades, you're gonna see like specific increases and things that happen over time with, like years of service and longevity. But that doesn't exactly happen within most of our step and grades.
It's common practice in governmental agencies to have steps.
Exactly.
I mean, we're not unique.
Mm-mm. Nope. It's
You
just that
guys
the way
have a-
that they've built theirs, it
So does the-
increases with years of service. Like you are rewarded for your years of service on a particular step and grade in federal service, as you were talking about.
And without pointing fingers, even with a clerk, there's a difference between a clerk who's been there as opposed to a person who's been there 7 years. Typically, the 7-year person knows a little bit more and is a little bit more
Absolutely.
effective, or
Yeah.
efficient for both.
Well, you could accomplish the same thing if you had a starting wage. And then that first year person, after 7 years, this just hypothetically got a 3% raise every year. It'll be 21% higher than the first step.
It'll be higher than that.
So,
Each year's a
Yeah.
little more.
exactly.
It's a compound.
So, it's,
Well, no, because in theory, you'd be also giving an increase to the starting wage as well.
well, that would be, the only negotiating thing you would have.
Right, wrong, or otherwise, that's the practice when it comes to government bodies. I mean, we have steps. We're not unique. Even the federal government has steps.
You know, I worked in private, industry most all of my life. I never saw such a complicated process as a step and grade business. I mean, it was a problem when I first got on the board. People were getting 2 pay raises a year, longevity, that kind of thing. And, some departments have 7 steps, some of them have 12 steps,
Yeah.
for God's sakes alive.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Federal
thought
government
process
has
was when they
second
built
grade.
them, though. I
Federal
don't know.
government has step and grade.
For non-exempt.
The only time I worked for the federal government is in the United States Marine Corps, and they didn't have step and grade. They had, they got promotions.
Right. Okay. First one, full-time, 5/12/12.
5/12/12,
Yep, she's at the bottom. Yep.
27, 2777.
Mhm.
That was that person's at?
5/13/12. Wait, I'm sorry.
5/13/11.
This person should be moved to 514 based on their
Job
job.
description.
And other similarly situated employees who are doing the same job.
Your recommendation is what then? 5/14/11?
514, well, I'm not sure if it's 11 or,
10?
I'm not sure if it's 10 or 11, but
10 would be a,
what would be closest to them getting the 3%, but in the other grade? So whatever that number would be.
5/14/10,
Okay,
or
What are they at right now?
2777.
I think it needs to be 514, step 11.
11.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're putting them backwards.
so now we're taking into account the 3% raise as well.
514 didn't get a raise. All right, well, who's the next one, Kelly?
So what's step for 514 then? 10,
11.
11?
5/14/11 for this first person.
But is that gonna equal a 3% move if we're not updating?
So 3% off of her current salary would be approximately 28.60.
28 what?
60, $28.60.
Oh, boy.
Do we need to?
That's okay, because this is last year's.
Right, that's what I'm basing the 3% off of is her last year's.
So if you take 514 step 11 and take that times 1.003,
003. Or 1.03, sorry.
1.005, what do you got?
We're not giving-
We're not
We're not
updating the
updating
514.
5/14.
Oh, that's right. Ooh,
So it's got to be 5/13, step 12 then.
2777, and you said it was what, Kelly?
Approximately $28.60.
28.
would be 3%.
Well, we gotta do it right. That's what we're gonna have to do. Right, step 12,
For 513
513.
or 514?
514, step 12.
2977.
Everybody mark this down.
5/14. step-
13 or 12?
Mr. Wickman's given a big raise this year. I can see this
Can you
again.
Please repeat the
Yeah.
grade, step and grade for me so I can write it.
Well, based on what you told me, Kelly, she's at 2777. 514 is not getting an increase this year. And if you take that 2777 times 3%, you got 2860, right? Well, then it needs to be step 12 and 514.
I agree.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
And 514 is not getting any changes in the step and grade.
Correct.
All right, what's the next one?
Next one is 514, step 9.
514, step 9,
26,
And this is a full-time employee.
20. All right, we're not doing anything in 514 this year, right? All right, take step 2697 times 3%. What you got?
What was that number?
2698 times 3%.
Approximately 27.78.
Good boy. All right, move them to step 11, 514, step 11.
Oh, yeah. Christmas in July.
You agree with that, Susan?
I do.
I do.
All right, rock on.
All right, next one is, well, we have 2 full-timers that are 514, step 2.
514, step 2. All right, take that times your 1.2270 times 3%.
70 cents.
So that's approximately $23.38.
And 30 what?
38.
2338, all right, move them to 514, step 4.
I agree.
How's that?
Yep.
That's right on.
514.4. All right. Would you also like to move the part-time person that is in 514.2 to the same step?
Yes.
Yeah.
Part-time person.
That's,
We have part-time people that are in this pay grade as well. We have 2.
that's down in
We have one in
community.
conservation and one in the VA.
And where are they at right now?
The one is 514.2.
514.2, is
So
that the
we
one
would
we
move
just
them.
changed?
Yep, so we would just move
Okay,
them to
where's the other one at?
514.4.
So you take 2385 times 3%.
24.56.
Oh, boy.
Looks like step 5.
Step 6.
6, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to do that.
That's for both the individuals in 514, 2, correct?
That one's 514.4 that we're moving that one to.
Is there any more?
I have one left, 514.3.
514.3.
3. Was it 26? 26.
Step 5.
Is 23.97.
Step 5 then. Jeez.
What is it? Step, is that the 5?
Somebody mark this down.
No, it's the right thing to do.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
You can't go backwards.
So now because you moved the person out of 512, you can actually keep 512 grade the same. You don't have to change that to the new 2027 figures.
Right, correct. Right, because it was just the one.
So we can keep that one the same.
So the 512 and 514 will stay the same. Okay. Thank you.
did it?
That's
Okay,
it for that.
we need a motion to approve this.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, guys.
Get this over with.
Okay,
Thank
and
you guys
Mary
for
Ann's
working
like,
with us.
what
We appreciate
exactly
it.
is the motion?
Well, I
To
think,
approve.
The motion was to make the changes in the step and grade as discussed with our payroll department, Kelly, Jamie, and Angie.
And our HR director. Let's throw her under the bus
do
too.
you want,
Thanks.
do you want it to list that to authorize not authorize, but to update the step and grade for the fiscal year 26-27 for grades 511, 512, and 514?
No. Is that what the motion reads?
You know, it's have to be
The motion is
specific.
pretty open-ended, so I added that, but I can do whatever you want,
Sure.
whatever your motion is.
For existing employees?
We need to write it down.
But I think there's more to it because then we're also talking about that 11 to 12 that they made the approval on.
Yep.
So it's not just the 5, 11,
And
12,
so
and
Kristen
14.
and I have visited, we think there needs to be 2 separate motions to keep it because this was sort of one action, the 11 to 12 was.
That motion.
Hold on, we got one on the floor. Here, wait.
So this one for the 5, 11, 12, and 14, how do you want your motion to be stated to update the step and grade for fiscal year 26, 27?
How many employees do we have in 511? All right,
Two.
we're moving 2 employees out of 511 and putting them in 512
And eliminating step or grade 511.
and eliminating 511. And then where were the other ones?
All the other, we had 1 in 512 that we're moving to 514.
Yeah, we're moving 2 out of 512 to 514.
We're moving 1 out of 512 to 514.
All right, I thought you told me 2.
No, there were 2 in 511
What?
that we're moving to 512, and then we're taking 1 out of 512 and moving it to 514.
Are we gonna renumber these now that we're not gonna have 511 anymore?
Yeah, we'll just completely drop it off the pay schedule.
So it's gonna go from 510 to 512?
No, we don't
We don't have
have,
any of those.
yeah, 512 is gonna be the first pay schedule now.
Got it, okay, I'm
Because I
sorry.
think the original decision was to get rid of 500 to
Yeah.
511.
Sorry, I get it now.
So everything below 511's gone.
We're moving how many from 512?
1.
1 from 512 to 514
Correct.
and 2 from
511.
511
To 512.
to 512.
And eliminating 511.
So you can obviously make whatever.
That should be our motion.
Okay, well, you can, that's fine. Kristen also is advising that it could read to update the step and grade for the fiscal year 26, 27 for grades 5, 11, 12, and 14, and direct the county payroll employees to make the appropriate changes.
So you could say.
So is that the second motion?
No, this would be the first one, to keep it.
Okay, so
We're
will you rescind your first one, motion?
not updating 5.
And Jeff, you
514.
rescind yours?
Not doing anything to 514.
Okay,
I didn't give this.
All right, you want the word adjust?
Yeah.
To
Not
adjust,
adjusting 514 either. We're just placing employees
Right.
in 514.
okay, I've got motions to rescind on both these. First and second.
it's your motion, so just tell me how you want it to read and I will be your scribe. If you want it, I thought it might be more appropriate to make it a little broader and that you were directing payroll staff to make the appropriate adjustments, but it's fine, however you want it. I mean, you're the board.
Confused.
Well,
I will make the motion to eliminate pay scale 5 or pay step 511 and direct the payroll employees to move the appropriate employees to the corresponding higher pay scales
Oh, I-
as discussed.
It move employees in 512 and 514.
Move them into 512 and 14 as discussed in the board meeting.
If that's acceptable, I will second that motion.
As long
Only
as
for-
you change that from step to grade.
Grade is what I meant to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can go with that.
Okay,
That's pretty easy.
have you got it written down?
So eliminate
511,
Grade
511, grade 511, and direct payroll employees to move employees in grades 512 and 514 to the next highest,
as discussed.
next highest step as discussed.
And you have,
Jasmine, you good?
you have that written down.
I'm
right,
good with
Kelly?
that.
Okay,
Thank you.
got a second by, or a first by Jones, a second by Jorgensen to
Approve everything.
To
your
eliminate,
motion.
you want me to read it again?
Yes,
To eliminate grade 511 and direct payroll employees to move employees in grades 512 and 514 to the next step as discussed.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Thank you for that.
Thanks for that. That's a big deal.
So does this negate the requirement for the second motion?
No, we still have to have a second because we have to have your approval to make the adjustments for 11 to 12 for the bucket.
So you want a motion to, put,
To direct,
redo the step and grades from, make step 12 2.5% higher than step 11?
Well, not just,
I want to
Those
take
two
the
steps.
bottom two,
yeah.
the bottom
Yeah.
two steps and make between the bottom step and the above, have the 2.5% that the board approved, and then remove anyone that is already in that bottom step out of the step completely and put in a bucket so everybody gets the 3% increase.
Yeah, that's the motion. I'll second that.
Who first that one?
You have
But
to
just for
first it.
clarification, nobody's gonna lose money or go
absolutely not.
backwards. Okay.
Nope.
Who made that motion?
I'll second Kelly's.
I got 2 seconds on the floor. I need a first.
made the motion.
Did you first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr.
It was
McCutcheon.
Tim.
Okay,
And I'll second.
okay. Motion by Wickman, second by Jones to approve adjustments as described. How's that sound?
We'll work on it.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you guys have been under the gun for the last month trying to train and bring Angie up to speed, and I know she's jumped right in. And Kelly and Jasmine, you guys, or not Jasmine, Kelly and
Jamie.
Jamie, I'm looking right at you.
That's it.
J names.
I mean, you've spent a lot of time on this, and I appreciate your effort.
Angie, how is the new job? This has got to be tough.
I'm doing with both feet.
Good.
Kelly's a great teacher.
Thank you for coming on board. It's an important
If
job.
you really want to talk to him after, offline.
I couldn't imagine. I mean, it'd be a lot.
She keeps
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back every day,
Yeah.
so it's good.
Thank you.
We do what we do, so we do what we want to do.
I'm not sure what that means.
Ride motorcycles.
No, Supervisor Miller is quite correct. These three have worked tremendous hours and put tremendous amounts of time into research and trying to make it correct and make it accurate, and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So thank you both, or all three of you very, very much. And
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
you ain't got a touch of gray, do you?
Yeah, a lot of great.
a lot of coffee to get.
Yes, a lot of coffee.
Next up, Jasmine Elmore, Director of Human Resources, discussion and a decision to approve and authorize the board to sign Teamsters Local Union number 554 wage reopener agreement effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. Jasmine?
Yes, thank you. Good morning to you. And Kristen, I'm also going to give you a copy. So from our original discussions and closed session, they have accepted, you are welcome, thank you. They have accepted our agreement. Nothing, no new changes, just as is, as you've already discussed. There's nothing new there, so it just requires the chair when they are ready to sign. That's it, but I just want Kristen to be able to take a look at it and see if there's any final tweaking that may need, but the original wage agreement, like I said, that you had us send to the Teamsters offer, they did accept.
Well, I have a question about it. You know, when we had our discussion with them, this is a wage opener, wage only.
Mhm.
Does the, Appendix A make any changes at all whatsoever to the existing contract? We didn't agree to that.
So the Appendix A, was for the hourly amounts to actually match the training. There's another training booklet that they have as well. But that is also part of wages. It's how they get paid when they are in, when they do some training.
Okay, it says updated language. What was updated? Did the, any compensation change in this?
So the only thing was to add an extra hour.
So
Right, for
the
the-
compensation change is instead of, because the language as it was written said that instructors who train for a minimum of 4 hours in one shift period shall be compensated 1 hour overtime. So that's the compensation part. What was changed was instead of anything over 4 hours, we added if you train for 8 hours or more in a 12-hour shift, you'll get 2 hours of compensation back. So that is the only change. I think that is how,
The jail.
that's how it
And-
should have been written. I think that's the idea of it. So it's a very minor change to the language to add the compensation of the additional hour. I don't think that this happens very often. I think it's very rare that we have anybody training for 8 hours in a 12-hour period, but we wanted it to match everything outside of.
And with another
jail.
bargaining unit.
And is,
The discussion was wages only, no language changes. It wasn't open for language change.
So this doesn't have to be in the contract. We could change it in the policy. We're adding it in the.
The training.
So that we could move it through more easily without, so the union understood what was going on to move it through more easily. The language change is changing the compensation. So I understand that you said no language is changing or should be changing, it's just the wages that are changing. The only language change changes the compensation. So
It's still wages.
If Appendix A was attached to what you just handed out, it would be easier to understand that all of the changes are on that appendix.
I can add the appendix, but it's just so it's something that would be updated in the training policy. In the original, didn't it say just 1 hour, right? It was just 1 hour of per 8 hours as well, so.
well, it didn't
It was
say
the 8 hours?
It just said
Oh, the 4.
a minimum of
The 4,
4 hours.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We added the 8 hours. If you train for 8 hours or more, you get this. We just clarified what I believe already happens, but
And matched it with the other bargaining unit.
now it reflects how we have it set everywhere else.
And it was all in Article 17, which is the wages section.
That portion was not.
Oh, let's.
No,
Then
Oh, it was in the appendix A.
that was it, yeah.
Sorry, I don't have the whole in front of me yet.
and this,
The discussion was no language changes, and I'm gonna stick with that, but whatever the board wants to do.
well,
I can tell you, they wouldn't let us do this. You know, and if they're doing it anyway, then they're not following our contract, nor are they following the handbook.
Yeah, I can't speak to that.
Right?
I disagree, but
You disagree?
I don't have the contract in front of me, Tim. I haven't seen this until just now, so if you would like to have an official legal opinion about it, I can type one up after a
Yeah.
few days of having to look through it all, and then I can get it back to you. But because I wasn't given this until just now, I am not prepared. I don't have a.
And I just got it right now too.
Sure. I can
And
go back and.
the discussion was, when they started talking about all those other language changes, the discussion was, no language changes, wages only. You recall that, right, Jasmine,
I do.
okay.
if I could see Appendix A, and see if is it just pay scales that are on Appendix A? Or does it have language that talks about this all on Appendix A? And if it's all part of the same document, I think we move forward, and I mean, the alternative of this is we go back to arbitration like we,
Arbitration, yes,
and
without
it's,
the language, yeah.
I think that would be a step backwards, and I don't think that would send a good message to our
If you read the last sentence on that, Susan, it says, this will be effective as of date of signing and will be updated in the training policy. Language change.
What are we at now before this? Is there compensation for training?
1 hour.
1 hour, 4 hours of training.
Do they typically trade in 4-hour blocks or is it 8-hour blocks?
I would say typically 4, which is why it says written, but I can't confirm, but I can confirm with them just to let you know.
So Tim, you would be looking for a legal opinion, is that correct?
well,
How this works?
You know, when the discussion was no language changes and then they come with the language change, I mean, that's not what was discussed.
I would like to get that opinion too, myself.
And,
I mean, it applies the same way. If they're certified instructors are training for 8 hours, they still get paid for 2 hours of overtime because it says who train. I mean, it's just doing your own math.
That was my understanding when I read it the first time. This is a clarification to make it one match other, like, we have this language other places for the jail, other places, like other trainers for the jail, other trainers for the Deputies Association.
Right.
So this language is just clarifying, as I agree, Susan, when I read it, a minimum of 4 hours, to me, that means you get 1 hour of comp time per 4 hours of training, right?
Right.
Is there any idea how much this is used?
I
I
think
would
it's
have to
very
check,
rare.
but it's, yeah, it is very rare.
well, probably all the time. Because,
Push it.
No,
because
that they use the jail?
absolutely.
They
I
don't.
think it's
The
generally,
turnover at the
over.
jail is almost every day. So we're training new people all the time.
this is just certified instructors, so that's for CPR training,
Right.
defensive tactics.
I understand that.
This isn't, if I am a new employee being trained by my supervisor, that doesn't count for this. That's a different type of training. So I understand that there's a lot of turnover at the jail, but this is just for those specialized
Specialties.
certified instructors for minimal things.
Defensive tactics isn't minimal. I mean, everybody goes through that training, whether you're
Well, everybody
new.
has to go through the first aid training as well, but it's not every day.
It's
I don't want to argue
scheduled,
with you.
it's
I don't
required.
care. Do what you want to do. Have they signed this?
They have not. You
Have
are
they
getting-
voted on it?
They've voted, yes, they have voted to approve it, but they have not signed this waiver.
I'll make the motion to approve and authorize the board chairman to sign Teamsters Local Union 554 wage reopener agreement effective July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027.
Got a motion by Miller, looking for a second.
I understand Mr. Wickman's concern and I think it's valid. And I understand Kristen's concern too. I think she was just trying to uphold the spirit of the contract. When it's all said and done, I think they got a little bit more out of us than we were planning on giving, if that makes any sense. I don't want to see this reopened, so I will second the motion.
Okay, I got a motion to approve by Miller, a second by Jones for the Teamsters Local Union 554 wage reopener agreement. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
Motion carried. Okay, next up, Jasmine Elmore, Director of Human Resources, discussion under decision to approve and authorize the board to sign agreement to extend the deputy contract for 1 month during arbitration.
That's the document that just got handed to us.
Yes. So, as you know, we have gone through the arbitration process. The arbitrator is actually out on vacation, but due to the contract expiring on the 30th, we would like to see that extended up until she actually makes her ruling. So that is actually what this memorandum of understanding is for. The agreement that Kristen has reviewed to extend that until that point.
Well, I certainly don't have any problem with that.
They work under the contract regardless, don't they, Kristen? Whether it's expired or not?
This is memorizing that.
Yeah.
So yes, they should be working on it. Technically, if they decide not to, if the contract is expired, they could stop.
They what?
They could stop. There's no interest in that. They would like to.
They could stop what?
There's no contract, so there's no binding authority. So
There's no binding authority for their employment?
for them to perform the duties under the contract. I'm assuming, Tim, that the board and everybody else involved is on the same page, that we all want the deputies to continue to perform their duties. They are under
I think
the,
that would be accurate,
yeah,
Kristen.
so that's what this is saying. So yes, I believe we should have an MOU or some sort of agreement extending the contract.
I have no problem with that.
I have one question.
Sure.
Does this give them a pay raise as of yesterday?
It does not. That was another thing we wanted to discuss and we discussed as well with payroll. So the offer, that we had was to essentially move them a step, but we want to know, would it be beneficial to issue that portion now, and then if the arbitrator makes a decision to award more or keep it the same, if she decides to award more, do we do that later or are we doing it all at a lump sum later? We don't know what direction we would like to go. I did speak to one of the union representatives, one of our union leaders. Say again.
Did they have a preference?
They had a preference to wait
Is that on the agenda?
until
No,
then.
All right.
No, wait, it is. on the
No,
agenda. That's
I
what we're
just
talking
read
about.
it. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry.
C.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry, the back pay issue?
Yeah.
No, that's not on there. Just signing this contract for 1 month during the
Okay.
arbitration.
Well, I can get that on.
I assumed that was included in this. How we were gonna handle their pay raises. I mean, that's a big part of the contract.
Yeah.
Their pay, but they're,
Let's do this one first. Do we want to extend the agreement for the deputy contract for 1 month during arbitration?
Yes.
it is 1 month long enough.
We were told that we would have information mid to end of July, so. I
It
would
should
assume
be
so.
noted. I believe that the agreement states that the current contract that we're extending will end upon receipt of a decision from the arbitrator. So I think that would push it out. If it's 1 month and 1 day, I think that this agreement would reflect that.
Covers it.
It was my understanding that the arbitrator should have a decision back to Pot County by the end of July.
So I need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
As a Union Pacific employee under the Iowa or the International Electrical Workers Union, I worked more years without a contract because we negotiate our contract fund increments. And the first year, 2 years, no agreement. So I know what it is. I mean, but yet, we had every right to strike.
Right.
But we still wanted to keep our job.
So for the meeting Tuesday, July 7th, do we need to get an action item on there to approve or deny
Wages at
We can
this.
just get,
wages?
I can put it on there for a
At the-
division or discussion.
Because when you say that you talked to somebody and they said that they wanted to do it all in one, did they get a vote from their union that they wanted to do it all at once? I mean, we want to make sure that they're all on board in agreement that if they don't get a 3% raise or don't get their raise effective
Mhm.
July 7th, that it's waiting until the arbitration is over. I mean, I don't want to create rework for the
It's a
auditor's
lot of
office.
rework, a lot of
Yeah.
We've done it right here. We've extended their contract 30 days at their existing pay. That's what we just did.
Okay, so no action needs to be added for the agenda for Tuesday.
Well, I don't think we did it yet. Did we vote?
We have not
No,
voted.
we have not. That's not on the agenda.
I'm just,
So we really can't vote on that till we get an agreement, can we?
Well,
You have the agreement.
what I said was, Brian, when we approve this,
Mm-hmm.
they're staying at their the same pay.
Correct.
That's it, for 30
Yeah.
days.
So that would, that
So
would
that
eliminate
covers-
the
The arbitrator-
payroll to start, to go through every person and do a minimal amount and then go back after arbitration is concluded.
Is that how you see it, Susan?
yes,
Okay.
Okay. Got a motion by Jorgensen, a second by Miller to extend the contract for deputies 1 month during arbitration. All in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Jasmine Elmore, Director of Human Resources, discussion and or decision on employee handbook. Update from April 14th board meeting. Jasmine.
So we sent the notification out to the department heads to review. I got a few responses back. Again, it is still a lengthy document. I received responses also that, with the cumbersome nature of the document, that department heads actually needed more time, to review and actually go through. So what can be suggested, I think, would be, we can implement the changes that the attorney has already reviewed and or added, and then still send it back through the committee that needs to review and update these things. I don't think it needs to continuously go back to the board for a rewrite or anything like that. I don't think you all need to govern at that level because it's already been reviewed by the attorneys for the legal language. And then we would just have the committee review those periodically. So originally we were meeting every 2 weeks, but we can figure out a regular cadence to review the different sections as a whole and then move forward and bring them back to you all for final review and approval of implementation. But
You said you received some input. Was it substantial input?
I think they reviewed, but it's not,
I was under the impression that the department heads were going to review it for a couple weeks, and the policy committee was going to review it for a couple weeks after those changes came in. I'm not, I don't recall ever seeing anything from the department heads or the policy committee.
right,
So the policy committee has never reviewed the changes.
right.
So I think the board did anything as a member of policy committee, I would
Right.
request that we have our 2 weeks to review and suggest changes.
I'd also like to see what department heads are providing as feedback as well, to take that into consideration.
Can I ask another quick question?
Sure.
When we decided not to have contracts for the department heads, one of the concerns was if there was separation from the county, that they would fall under some type of progressive discipline.
Mhm.
Is that outlined in the new? It is.
It's in there, yes, it is.
For department heads as well as
No, it's just as
all employees.
all employees.
Which we moved them to employees.
Okay. I want to make sure that's covered.
But I think, yeah, that needs to be reviewed, and then there's a few other things that you all discussed that need to be added within that policy.
It's not as though we're functioning without a employee handbook, because we are.
Right,
We just don't have our revised one approved yet.
right.
And, it should have been approved a month ago. But, when, I don't remember his name, that attorney came, what was his name?
Brad?
Yeah, Brett Henders came.
Yeah.
He said the vast majority of them were, legal opinions. There was a few areas where the, in the handbook that were specifically for certain departments. Mary Ann, did you get to review yours?
Actually, Jamie reviewed it for me.
There's a lot of the policies in the employee handbook that I think could be taken out and be like department specific versus I've compared our handbook to other counties and ours is massive compared to other county employee handbooks.
Well, currently, we've just reviewed the whole thing as a whole
From a legal perspective.
handbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a
Legal
legal
perspective.
perspective, yeah.
Yes, and if the policy ever gets a chance to meet, take a look at it, they can recommend pulling those out of the handbook, making it a department policy instead. I don't have any issues with that.
So you would like it for how long
Like
to review it?
to review. Kristen, what do you?
I mean, I think the initial discussion was 2
But-
weeks, and I
If
think
you want
that's
to.
Can we, because we're July 1 in the
Yeah.
auditor's office. and
Yeah.
We've got a lot going on, so I just think 2 weeks on top of all the projects we're currently in is a little
Unrealistic.
unrealistic for specifically me with July 1 and UKG projects.
Let's do it on the 28th.
Or we can just approve it, send it to the policy committee.
That's not a bad idea.
Approve.
Approve the legal changes that was given to
Approve
us
the
by Brett.
revised
Which we
employee
saw.
handbook.
Okay, well, I just completed my assignment from safety training to do my harassment training. And I think all of you guys had the same assignment. I had a deadline that I had to push back, so I just got mine done this week. So I'm looking at the screen prints from that training, and it does not match what we've got in our handbook.
I just took it yesterday as well, and I thought the same thing.
And I'm like, okay, so is Brett behind? Is this not detailed enough? And so to approve the handbook today with those changes, on that one page, I've got concerns that we need to, I don't know, change it so that it covers all harassment, that it's just not sexual harassment. I think it's contradictory, and I think we need to make it cleaner.
Put it on the agenda for March of 2027. We'll get it done by then.
Well, and that's the problem. We could forfeit a good policy manual for a perfect one, and that could take another year.
I don't see a
I
problem
do
with
think
waiting
that
just a little while longer and review it just a little more.
we currently have a handbook that we are operating under.
Right.
And I think there are problems with it, obviously, but I understand wanting to get it done quickly, but I also understand or would request the board consider doing something correctly rather than just shoving this through. If Susan's already pointed out some flaws in our harassment, and that's huge liability issues, or could be huge liability issues. I haven't seen the harassment training that Susan did. I haven't done it recently, so there may be changes. So from a legal standpoint, I would suggest if you're going to revise it, you revise it correctly. And I genuinely have not had a chance to review the handbook changes. I think that I could have reviewed it when Matt was reviewing it, but then I was waiting for the handbook, or sorry, the policy committee review to do
Right.
that and focusing on other projects. So
Mhm.
I haven't taken a review of the handbook policy.
Let's do July 28th. We'll put it on the agenda. That'd be fine.
Or approval.
I think you
Jamie, do you
guys,
think that policy committee would be able to meet before then? Or
I
know
think they need more
you
time
guys are in a tough spot.
in July, yeah.
I'd push it back a week or two.
I would suggest like the first Tuesday.
I think it's gonna take a week to get everybody on board, pick a date that's gonna work, get them the information, provide them the feedback from department heads. You know, I think that's gonna take at least a week or two.
The policy manual is over 200 pages, correct?
Yeah.
300.
Okay, so for a group of people to take a look at that, it's going to take,
But I think we only need to look at the red line sections right now. I don't think we need to go through the whole thing prior to us meeting. I think right now we're trying to look at just those,
Adopting the change.
adopting the changes that that attorney had made.
right, but
And then,
six additions alone, when it comes to bias and discrimination, that could take a long time.
Or it can be simplified. I mean,
Right, but it still takes a group of people looking at that
right.
and coming to an agreement.
You ladies said that you reviewed, from other counties, their handbooks. Basically, what kind of a length of?
there's a big difference in lengths of the handbooks. When I look at some of our, like, we're including procedures in our employee
Correct.
handbook that don't need to be there.
Right.
When I look at the language from other counties on, like, let's just say like pay policies, like the pay procedure policies, their language is 2 paragraphs, ours is 9 pages. Because we're literally
Yes. You're spelling out everything.
micromanaging every,
An employee handbook really should be truly right around 30 pages. It could go up to 60 if it's a large one, but we are way out of range for that. And then the county, the handbook is really just supposed to be general across all of the county, and then you can have all of the policies that are specific to whatever departments. Yeah,
I agree. I think there's a difference between having
Yeah.
an employee handbook
Yeah.
versus a policies and procedures manual. And
That-
ours is all lumped together. So we need,
More broad.
we need to create just an employee handbook.
right.
And then we need to have a policies and procedures manual. I mean, because IT has their own individual IT policies that are not in our employee handbook. But because everybody in the county uses IT, we still have to abide by their policies. That doesn't mean it needs to be in our employee handbook. That would be the same for the auditor's office as far as it goes to, you know, payroll, you know, submitting timesheets or using accounts payable. They don't need to be in the employee handbook. Those just need to be our internal policies and procedures that the county has to follow because we're providing that service to them.
And then we just need to make sure the language ties back to the employee handbook, that if you don't follow the procedures, then you're subject to,
That's still a
Disciplinary.
massive undertaking,
It's,
massive.
It is.
300 pages boiled down to whatever.
What I'm focusing on as far as my concerns about policy committee reviewing is just the changes that were suggested by Brent. I don't think that, you're right, Keith, there's no way we're going to completely scrap the entire handbook and start over in a month.
Right.
But I think a little bit of time for the policy committee to review any suggestions regarding the changes that Brent suggested. Like
correct.
that's what I'm focusing on. I'm not talking about scrap the handbook and start over. I'm only talking about reviewing and accepting the changes that were suggested.
This is the last time that handbook was reviewed.
Prior to this,
Is it?
From 2009.
9-ish,
8 or 9.
8 or
It
9.
depends on the policy. There are a few different
Yeah.
updated policies. The
I'm
one
I'm
that-
not interested in a novel as large as War and Peace or The Godfather myself. I just,
Yeah, no, I would just suggest the handbook or the policy committee reviewing the changes as proposed by Brent Hinders.
Yes.
And, you know, making
And I-
either suggestions or,
Thought that was the original,
Yeah.
that was the original request.
And I would,
I think that.
Yeah.
So you're thinking early to mid-August.
Yes, for review for them, because they have to get through July for all of the changes for payroll. So I think if we do that the first weekend, would that work for you guys? First or second week in August? To
Let's do
start,
the 11th.
Yep.
Okay.
August 11th.
I'll make that motion.
I don't think we need a motion.
Okay.
We can let this one die.
I'll shoot you an email and ask her.
No action taken. Next up, Jasmine Elmore, our Director of Human Resources, discussion on locked-in agreement for the employees' wellness incentives.
So we received notification from Lockton that they were no longer going to be doing wellness programs. So Mary and I, my assistant, have been working to compile some different options. We are still waiting on costs from a few of them. Mary actually went through 2 or 3 different meetings with some of the vendors, and she's got some numbers. Some of them are not close to what we were actually paying. And then I also reached out to FNIC because they also have, so the people who are doing our insurance options, they're also providing us with some options for these wellness programs that might be more cost effective. So we would like to see us bring on one of these vendors, but there's still a little bit of research because we only got 30 days. Typically, we'll see anywhere from, 60 to 90 days. It gives us time to review and bring on other vendors if needed. So that is something that is in process. There's about 7 that we have right now, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually about 9. So we've got 9 options for the programs, and Mary she's done the work with 3 of them already, so.
So you'll bring that back to us for decision.
I sure will. Yeah,
How
yeah.
long do you think that'll be?
I would say it could probably be on the 11th, be about the same time that we are doing the employee handbook. Because I want to meet with a few of them that they have actually personally suggested. And I think that would be helpful. And some of them are very close to the area. It's not like a large company. They found some smaller, companies that are willing to work with us. So
Remind me again why the locked-in agreement went away.
they did not share why they were no longer going to continue on with their wellness program. And that was for everybody, like all of the companies that they supported.
And we got that notification,
It would have
April
been
27th.
April, yeah.
and then it ended May 31st.
Yeah.
It left
We are
a lot of
going to
people
get
in a lurch.
these people to also go backwards so we can, we want to get that wellness covered, because there's also an incentive to our employees.
And do we
Great
need to
program.
send in an email out to all employees to let them know
We can
about?
notify them. They have not been notified yet. And I think that's beneficial because we're starting to get questions now that we're in a new fiscal year.
We've already had people reach out to payroll
Okay.
and benefits regarding the wellness program, and we've already had employees go get their exam to roll into that next year,
Yep.
so we
And we want them to
need to know,
Yeah.
how do we proceed? If there is no wellness program, they're doing it after the fact, they've already done their wellness exam, do we still give them that $30?
Incentive.
Gonna be able to
Well, I
provide.
think Lockton put us into that situation.
Would Lockton be able to
They
provide?
notified us on the 27th of April.
Submitted their stuff.
I did just request a file, and Lockton has provided all of the people who are eligible for the 2026-7 year, who did meet their requirements. So that's this
And
fiscal year.
we did get that from Mary, but I've had employees that have went and got their physical now
Mhm.
for next fiscal year.
Okay.
So how do
Okay.
we get that from Lockton? Because their doctors have been submitting that information to
Makes sense.
Lockton.
Mhm.
So how do we get that information so that we can track it?
Yeah, I think we need to reach back out to Lockton because there should be a period where they're still assisting with some of the transition. So I can reach out to Lockton and see if they've gotten those other people who have tried to submit as of.
We should get a
Like, as of
note
now.
out to the
Mhm.
employee
Yeah. I'll
like
send something
today.
out.
them know the position we're in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
You'll do that?
Yeah, and I can work with, Kate, do you want to help with that? I can work with you on that, since you're the corporate communication, you know, we can work with the verbiage on that. I can work with you on that.
anything else?
Does,
Motion?
does you guys need anything back from us that you handed out?
I don't think so. That's for your review, but yeah, you delegated the signing to.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. We're out. Thanks for all you done.
Thank you.
Thank you.